Good morning, students. So, the last class, we start motion in a plane, and in that, we have seen vectors and scalars, and we are studying the properties of vectors. Clear? First, we have seen physical quantities divided into scalars and vectors. After that, we have seen position vector, displacement vector, and then next equality vectors, next multiplying vector by real number. If we multiply with the real number, magnitude increased by, if we multiply with a lambda magnitude, then lambda is a number, then magnitude increased by lambda times. If it is multiplied with a negative number, magnitude increases, direction also changes. Positive number, there is no change in direction, magnitude changes. That we have seen in the last class. Am I correct? Yeah, now today we shall see vector addition and subtraction by graphical method. Clear? Simply we follow that method. So you will come to know in higher classes why did they follow this method. Okay, till then you just follow this method. Addition and subtraction of vectors by graphical method. Today discussion. This is what is the fourth discussion. Okay. What is that? Addition and subtraction of vectors. Addition and subtraction of vectors by graphical method. Okay? Clear? Suppose we have two vectors. One is like this, another one is like this. This is vector A and this is vector B. Here we will follow one rule or one property of the vector. That is, we can slide the vector parallel to its direction. If we slide the vector parallel to its original direction, by sliding, we do not find any effect in the direction as well as the magnitude. Suppose here A is a vector, I can slide here, I can shift this vector to here. By shifting, there is no, that shifting will not affect the direction and magnitude of the vector. This B is there, I can shift parallel to that direction. See, like this, to here also. Okay, by shifting, what happened? There is no change in direction as well as magnitude. So, that I will follow here. So, this B vector I am shifting parallel to its original direction like this. Clear? By shifting, what is happening here? See, this is vector A. This start, this point I already mentioned, this we call it as a head. Sorry, this we call it as a tail, this we call it as a arrow, we call it as a head. By shifting this vector B, what happened? The vector A head is touches, by shifting B, tail of B touching head of A, right? So by doing this, we shift the vectors. By shifting the vector, there is no change in magnitude and direction. So it is as this. You can like this. So you do find some variation in the length in the what is that? Drawing these vectors. That don't take it serious. Increasing, decreasing length. Okay. So now the closing side. This is a vector. This vector starting from A. I mean tail at A. This tail, both tails matched. Clear. And this is head. Head is towards B head, and this we can write it as a plus you take this a vector C, how can we write C is equal to A plus B? Clear? So you may have a doubt. Sir, why do you shift B? Why not A? That's our interest. That's our convenience or your convenience. So I don't now. First case I shifted B. What will happen if I shift A? See, B as it is. Clear? Now this is the tail of B, head of B. Right? Clear? Now I am shifting A to. In the first case, what did we do? Tail touching the tail of B touching A. Now what will happen? The tail of A touching head of B. Now this. See, A is parallel. We slided A here. So this is. Now closing side. This one. Right? This closing side vector, see as the process tail, head. But in closing vector, see two tails at one place and coincides, not one place, and heads coincides. Then this we can write B plus A. If you take it this as suppose a vector, see how can we write? C is equal to B plus A. Clear? Understand? So there is a here shifting is very important. What do we do in this process? We make this in contact head and tail. Okay, don't make it in by shifting. If you do contact head and head, then closing side will not be the correct answer. See, suppose if you shift like this, without following the rule, if you write A and if you write B like this closing side will not be A plus B. Understand? So, what we have to follow? Tail, head. Then closing side gives the addition. Understand? Here what will happen? Tail, head. Here, this tail and this tail. This is not correct. So this procedure is wrong. I hope you all understand. Clear? So this we call it as the method we follow. We call it as a graphical method. Clear? Now here C is equal to A plus B. C is equal to B plus A. So both C is equal to A plus B and C is equal to B plus A. Both give the same result. So this property we call it as what? Commutative law. Vector addition obeys commutative law. Already you studied in mathematics. A plus B is equal to B plus A. See, don't think this common addition and vector addition is same. That's different. You will come to know in coming classes. Till then, you just keep this point in your mind. Vector addition and normal addition are not same. Clear? That you will see. Okay, suppose now I taken only two vectors. Suppose we have a vectors like this. This is one vector A, and this is one vector B, and this is another vector C. Clear? What would be this closing side? Okay, if we take this vector R, this we can write R is equal to A plus B plus C. Understand? So this we can write A plus B plus C. Okay, no doubt about in that. We can follow directly vectors laws. This is vector addition. Now next we will see the subtraction of the vectors. Now subtraction of the vectors. So subtraction of the vectors we can done by using addition. There is no direct subtraction there in vectors. Okay, subtraction can be done by addition. See how it will be. Now same vectors I am taking here. This is vector A, and initial I have taken vector B like this. Am I correct? Now we want A minus B. A minus B. So this I will make it reverse like this. If our direction changes, magnitude are not changing, only direction changing, then what happens? This we can write minus, right? And this minus B vector I am shifting. This is vector A, okay, tail, head, and this is minus D. Clear? Or if you want magnitude, then now head to tail, then closing side. If you take this as C, see how do we write? A plus minus B. Understand? Don't write direct minus. Then what happens? Minus of plus into minus. Then this will be C is equal to A minus B. Clear? How did we do? Finally we have a subtraction, but what we followed here? We followed addition, like this. Understand? Clear? C is equal to A plus of minus B. We minus B we reversed. Clear? By reversing, direction changes. The direction we denoted with minus. Then we added. Finally we got A minus B. And similarly you can do B minus A. Or how do you do B minus A? First we reverse the A, then this is A, reversed, it will become minus. Then what we have to do? We have to shift this. This is plus B vector, initial vector. This is reverse A. See, I am shifting this up to here. This is initially B, right? Now shifting A here. Now head to tail, closing side. Then this will be C. C is equal to how do we write? B plus minus A. Then what do you get finally? What do you get? C is equal to B minus A. Clear? So this is also, here also we have done subtraction by addition. So in vectors direct subtraction is not there. Subtraction can be done by addition. Here, see, first case we got A minus B, second case we got B minus A. So are these two same? Not same. So vector subtraction not obeys commutative law. Vector addition obeys commutative law. Remember this point, very very important. Addition obeys commutative law, subtraction do not obeys commutative law. Okay, now we will see one important vector, that is null vector. It's very 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 important. Null vector. Null vector, null means what? Nothing. Means the magnitude of vector is 0, but direction we cannot specify. It's very interesting. See, so all vectors have magnitude and direction, but this vector, no magnitude and direction we cannot specify. Clear? It's very interesting. Sir, how does it possible? You may have a question. It's possible. Clear? Null means what? 0. Means net resultant is 0. Finally, nothing was there. Clear? So how nothing was there, sir? This is a question. See, this is very few. All know this game. That is tug of war. Tug of war means both sides, more than 5 or more than 6 members are there. They pull the one rope. That side people will hold, and this side people, this batch and that batch will hold the rope, strong rope, a thread, a rope, and they pull that rope. Clear? So I die here. This is the row. This is the center point. Here there are the people. They are pulling here also. Pulling the row. They are applying. These people are pulling this side. Am I correct? These people are pulling this side. Am I correct? If they apply equal force, what will happen? These people will not move this side, and these people will not move this side. Clear? It stay. I mean, if they apply the equal forces, the result will be nothing. Am I correct? Yes. So suppose these people are applying 10 newtons, and these people are applying 10 newtons. What is the resultant net force? Both are acting in opposite direction. Then net is 0. Where this 0 is acting, at the center, or at this point, or at this point, or at this point, or at this point, we cannot say. There is a force. If I said net force 0, but are these people are not applying force? They are applying force. Are you finding it? You find the difference. These people are applying force, but this, if you have a mark on this thread, this mark will not move this side and this side. Clear? It is there at the center. There is an applying force, but there is no change in the position. What does it mean? Net force is 0. Are forces vectors or scalars? They are vectors. Vectors are opposite in direction, equal magnitude, resultant is 0. Vector subtraction, again a vector, but what is the magnitude? 0. That's why this we call it as a null vector. Null vector means what? Magnitude is 0, direction we cannot specify. If I ask you where this 0 is acting, not only center point, everywhere on the string thread, everywhere on this rope, each and every point will not move. This side or this side. What does it mean? So this 0 is acting everywhere. So everywhere means we cannot say direction. Here, there, we cannot say. That's why null vector is a vector whose magnitude is 0, direction we cannot specify. If you write only 0 magnitude, that is wrong answer. You have to say the direction of the null vector. We cannot say. That's you write simply. Null vector magnitude 0, direction we cannot specify. That vector we call it as a null vector. And we will see one more important vector, that we call it as unit vector. Second one is, here null vector, how do you write? Magnitude is 0, direction we cannot specify. Next one is unit vector. By word itself, see two vectors. By seeing we can say the definition. Null, 0 vector. Unit vector means it has a unit. The magnitude is unit, that one unit only. But it specifies the direction. That is the difference between null vector and unit vector. 0 magnitude, no direction. Here magnitude is 1, it has a direction. That vector we call it as a unit vector. Unit vector we can define whose magnitude is 1, it specifies the direction. So that vector we call it as a unit vector. Clear? That in the coming discussion we will see the use of these null vectors and unit vectors. Clear? Okay, now we will see the example problem, first example problem in this lesson. See, if you do not have a books, please try to get these books. Okay, you ask your seniors or your brothers and sisters. Clear? So, otherwise you download from the PU board website. Now the first question is, rain falling vertically with a speed of 35 meter per second. Wind starts blowing after some time with a speed 12 meter per second in east to west direction. In which direction should a boy waiting at bus stop hold his umbrella? Clear? So, read question properly. So, rain is falling vertically. So, don't see the grammar here. Rain is falling vertically. That's not, we are not studying English, we are studying physics. Rain is raining is in English, but in physics rain is falling only. Clear? Rain is falling vertically with a speed of 35 meter per second. wind is start blowing. After some time, the speed in east to west direction. Clear? Now, one person, student is standing in the bus stand. In what direction he has to hold the umbrella to avoid wet? Okay. See, this is plain. Generally, rain how falls? It's generally, if there is no wind, it falls exactly vertically down. If you take the directions north to south to east to west. Okay, now wind is blowing in what direction? In the east to west. Means east to west means in this direction. So wind blowing in this direction. Then what happened? Initially, before wind blowing, falling vertically. Now wind start blowing. In what direction this rainfall bend? In this direction. Instead of falling this, it falls like this. Clear? Okay. So this is the first case. I will draw again this. For the speed of the rain, this is the downward VR. VR means the speed of the rain. What did they give you? That is 35 meter per second. If you are there in this case, no wind blowing, a boy can hold umbrella in this fashion. Am I correct? To avoid the wet. Now, what happened? Wind is blowing in what direction? East to west. Then wind will change the direction. It falls like this. Am I correct? But velocity remains same. VR is equal to 35 meter per second. To avoid the wet, boy will not bend himself. He changes the direction of the umbrella. He holds his umbrella in this direction to avoid the wet. So this is the direction of umbrella. Clear? Now how the vectors helps in this case? Okay? Now he has to hold the umbrella to avoid the wet. Now I will draw the vectors forming here. Initially, clear? What is this initial direction? VR. Okay, initially. First, then wind blowing in this direction. Am I correct? Velocity of wind. Finally, rain comes in this direction. That figure. He has to hold umbrella like this. Am I correct? This is the angle theta. Slide this vector. Slide this vector. This is what? V. Sliding vector. There is no effect in magnitude and direction. What is the velocity of wind? In this case, I did not write. So velocity of wind in this direction. So Vb is equal to, what is that? Vb 12 meters per second. Clear? Now Vb is equal to 12 meters per second. And Vr is equal to what? 35 meters per second. Right? Theta they are asking. Which trigonometrical ratio involves? This is for this theta, this is opposite side, this is adjacent side. We know the opposite and adjacent side. Which trigonometrical ratio involves having opposite side and adjacent side? That is tan theta. Am I correct? Tan theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. 12 by 35. Right? Keep theta is equal to tan inverse of 12 by 35. Don't worry, this is the inverse function. You will see in trigonometry. Till then, keep it as this. Don't worry. Understand? Next, what is this value? This closing side. Right? This is right angle triangle. This value will be right angle triangle. This is hypotenuse. What do you get? That is equal to under root of side square plus side square. 12 square plus 35 square. Solve it. you will get the answer. What did they give answer? That is 35 square plus 12 square is they given 37 meter per second. So due to wind flow, initially it is falling 35. Due to wind flow east to west, change the direction and finally the magnitude will become 35 meter per second. This is the way, this is the advantage using the vectors. Clear? See, here boy is only standing. Clear? If boy is run, that is a special case that we will see in the end of this lesson. Clear? Here boy is only standing. Suppose if boy runs in the rain, what will happen? Clear? That we will see in the coming discussion. Now we shall have a discussion. Very important discussion. Resolution of vectors. This is very important and very simple also. Clear? Very important and very simple. What is that? What we shall have now? Resolution of vectors. Clear? So we are in the beginning of this lesson. Still we will not have a motion of the object in the plane. To understand that, we are seeing all these things. Now resolution of vectors. It is nothing but resolving of vector. Very simple. So this is mistake spelling resolution. Okay, resolution of vectors. Okay, now resolution of vector and resolving of vector, rectangle component of vectors all are same. See, now I am taking a position vector. To specify the position vector, we need reference point. So in physics, reference point is the intersection of the coordinates. This is x and this is y. The intersection of this is this one. This intersection we taken as a origin. Origin is the reference. If you have a 3 dimensions, then we will have one more coordinate here, that is z axis. Understand? Now, right now we will confine to only 2 coordinates. Now, this let us say point P here. It specify the position, specifying the position vector. A point P is there. This is point P. It is specifying the position vector. Let us say this is a vector A. Clear? Now, this come to understand this, we will see some mathematics. To understand, I am using mathematics. Let us say this is x and y. If I give you a point, let us say 2, 3. What does it mean? These are coordinates. 2 units on x-axis, 3 units on y-axis. Then how do you find this coordinate? You will check 2 units on here, 3 units on y-axis, you will point here. And you will draw a line like this. This is 0, 0, this is 2, 0. What does it mean? 2 units acting along x-axis, 3 units acting along this one, 3 units. Am I correct? Yes or no? 2, 3, we split it to 2. One is along x-axis, another one is along y-axis. Am I correct? Clear? So, this is mathematics, so we came to know by seeing this coordinate. 2 is acting along x-axis, 3 acting along y-axis. We already studied. That's why we all confined to one is x, one is y. But in this, how do we specify these 2 and 3? That's what in the previous discussion I mentioned, unit vectors. Am I right? Unit vectors whose magnitude is 1, it specifies the direction, right? Say, in mathematics 2 is acting x-axis. The same concept we are writing in physics. These two acting along x-axis, right? This x-axis direction, to represent this x-axis, we use a unit vector that is called I cap. So I cap is a unit vector whose magnitude, if I write like this is magnitude is 1, which acts along x-axis. So I cap, if I mention, let us say 2 I cap, if I write like this, what does it mean? 2 units acting along x direction. Understand? If 2 into I magnitude is to 1, 2 into 1, 2 only. Magnitude is not affecting. Understand? But it is assigning the direction. To who? For 2. Understand? And along y direction, we use a unit vector j. Understand? If you take it coordinates like this, like this, like this. Along x-axis representation I cap, y-axis representation j cap, z-axis representation k. This is x, this is y, this is z. So x-axis who will represent I cap, y j cap will represent, z k cap will represent, right? So here 3 how you can write? 3 j cap. So this we can write. It is a component 2. 2 is one component along x-axis. 3 is another component acting along y-axis. This we can write 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. Now 2 comma 3 is a point. It is let us say q. If you draw a vector, let us say OQ. OQ is a position vector. Then how do we write? OQ is a position vector. This is we can write 2 I cap 3 j cap, right? So very simple. This is a vector. It has one component along x-axis, another component along y-axis. Understand? In mathematics, simply 2 comma 3, but in physics, with magnitude, and we will give the direction 2 I cap and 3 j cap. If you have a coordinate, then we will represent with k. Understand? Now keep these points in your mind. Come to this point. Position vector A, how can we write? A vector we can write it has component along x direction, that I am taking as Ax I cap. Means one component, let us say, take like this. So this is what? This is Ax. If you assign I cap, this is Ax I cap. And what is this? This is Ay j cap. So A vector we can write Ax I cap plus Ay j cap. Understand? Here Ax and Ay are called components. Resolution of vector. The vector A we resolve into 2. One is Ax, another one is Ay. To what directions? I cap. I cap means what? X direction. J cap means what? Y direction. We split the vectors. The splitting of vector is nothing but resolution of vector. Right? Now, splitting is over. Clear? Then, what is the direction of this vector A? This is a very important question. Ax direction already we know, that is acting along x direction. Ay is y direction. But what is the direction of A? So to find this direction, we represent the direction of A with theta. Clear? Understand? See, turn to left, turn to right. You are saying the directions. Am I correct or not? Turn right, turn left. Clear? In your common language, take turn. From there you take U turn. You are saying. But in physics, how do we say? Take angle, take left turn. That we cannot say in the physics. That we can represent by using theta, by using angle. Okay, how do we say common language in physics? Take 90-degree turn. Understand? So here the theta specify the direction with respect to what? X direction. Understand? With x axis, this is horizontal axis, this is vertical axis. Theta represents theta is the angle between vector to horizontal axis. Now we wish to find this theta. So to find the theta, what is this is parallel to y axis. What is this magnitude? Ay. Ay is the magnitude. If you join j cap, that will become vector. And what is the horizontal component? Horizontal axis component is ax only. If you want to write in vector form, we need to add I cap. If we unit vectors, if we add with the magnitudes, that represents the vectors. But we are talking about magnitudes, right? Now we wish to calculate theta. Then this is theta. We have a opposite side. We have a adjacent side. Then what do we get? Adjacent side, opposite side. Adjacent side, opposite side involving trigonometrical ratio tan theta. Tan theta is what? Opposite side by adjacent side. I already taken this is O. You take it. This is Q. Then how do you write? QP. QP is opposite side by OQ is adjacent side. This is equal to AY by AX. Tan theta is equal to AY by AX. Or this we can write theta is equal to tan inverse of AY by AX. Understand? Now, one more point is there. How do we write AX in terms of theta? How do we write AY in terms of theta? Clear? That we will see here. So now we wish to calculate AX and AY. I am drawing this simple triangle here. Note this triangle only I am drawing. This is A, vector A. This is AX and this is AY. This is theta. Clear? And vector A, whose magnitude we will write simply A. If we write arrow over the letter, that represents the vector. Without vector, that represents the magnitude. Clear? This magnitude is A. AX, AY are the magnitudes. Clear? Now AX is required. In this right angle triangle, hypotenuse value is A. This is adjacent side value is AX. We are interested to find, our intention to find AX. Which trigonometrical ratio involving containing hypotenuse and adjacent side? Hypotenuse and adjacent side. Which trigonometrical ratio? Cos theta. So this, let us, how do we take? This is O, this is P. What is this? This is Q. Clear? So cos theta. What is that? Adjacent side by OQ by OP. Clear? Cos theta. OQ is what? AX. OP is what? A. So AX is equal to A cos theta. Clear? Understand? Next, opposite side. Then a hypotenuse already known A. AY we need to calculate. Which trigonometrical ratio containing these two terms? That is already cos used. Sin theta. Sin theta is equal to what? Opposite side by hypotenuse. QP by OP. Sin theta is equal to QP is what? AY. OB is what? A. So AY is equal to A sin theta. This we call it as a horizontal component of a vector. This we call it as a vertical component of a vector. Clear? So you can write this vector A is equal to, I am writing vector form AX. This is AX I cap, AY j cap. You can write this as A cos theta I cap plus A sin theta j cap. Am I correct? Both are correct. Clear? Horizontal component, vertical component. AX, AY. Don't, very simple. I'll say very simple. Don't confuse cos theta and sin theta. Theta subtended side is always cos theta. That's all. This is theta subtending with x-axis. This side is cos theta. Other side is sin theta. That's all. This is the very simplest way to remember components. Theta subtending side is cos theta. Other side is sin theta. Understand? Theta subtending side is cos theta. Other side is sin theta. This is blind way to remember, but this is the proof why horizontal component is cos theta, why vertical component is sin theta. It's if you know the trigonometrical ratios, if you know this observation in the sense we need adjacent side, we know the hypotenuse. Trigonometry helping us because trigonometry ratio, one ratio having hypotenuse and adjacent side, another ratio having opposite side and adjacent side. If you know the observation, how do we calculate? If you have this question, then if you have enough knowledge in mathematics, automatically you will get the answer. Am I correct? Clear? So be perfect in mathematics, especially trigonometry. Now further discussion. AX, this is horizontal component. A cos theta, consider the equation 1, and AY is equal to A sin theta. Magnitude, here also magnitude, AX horizontal component, AY vertical component. This is equation 2. Already given directly tan theta. Are they correct? See now, if you do equation 2 by equation 1. What is equation 2? LHS side AY by AX, right? Next, A sin theta by A cos theta. A cancel. Sin theta by cos theta is what? Tan theta. What is there here? Tan theta is equal to AY by AX. What did we get here? AY by AX is equal to tan theta. Right? Again same. And one more thing, we have not seen magnitude. Simply we are taking vector and we are saying magnitude. If we write the arrow over the letter that represents the vector, we are saying, and without arrow that we are saying magnitude. Then how do we get this magnitude formula for a given vector? This is very important. Always I said, previously also I mentioned, if A is a vector, if you write like this, that represents the magnitude, or simply if you write A, that represents the magnitude. Then how do we have a vector A? What is A formula? Magnitude. Very simple. These two equations helps. Very simple. Equation 1 square and equation 2 square and adding. Squaring and adding. First I am squaring. First equation AX square is equal to A square cos square theta. First equation. Second equation AY square is equal to A square sin square theta. I am adding. Then what do you get? AX square plus AY square is equal to A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta. Clear? Now this is AX square plus AY square is equal to, what is common in these two terms? A square. So this I can write sin square theta plus cos square theta. You know very well this value. Identity. What is that? Sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So this value is 1. 1 into a square only. So this I will write like this. A square is equal to ax square plus ay square. Then a is equal to under root of ax square plus ay square. This is what? Magnitude of the given vector. We have a vector ax I cap plus ay j cap. That is equal, this vector magnitude is a is equal to under root of ax square plus ay square. This is the magnitude formula. What is the direction formula? Tan theta is equal to ay by ax. Clear? We have seen resolution of vector. We taken vector a, that is equal to that ax I cap plus ay j cap. Ax we written as a cos theta, ay a sin theta, horizontal component, and this is vertical component. And then magnitude of vector a, this is nothing but a is equal to under root of ax square plus a y square. This is what? Magnitude formula. Next tan theta. What is that? A y by ax. These two we call it as a components. Sometimes we call it as a rectangular components. Both are same. We don't confuse. Name is different, but the formula remains same. Resolution means resolving, splitting of vector along two directions. One is along x direction, one along y direction. Clear? So ax is equal to a cos theta, ay is equal to a sin theta. I hope you understand why we are talking this. What is our lesson? Motion in a plane, motion in two directions. So we need to frame the equations in two directions. To frame the equations two directions, we need to know how to write the equations in two directions. Right? A vector we are writing in two directions. How do we write? By these equations. Clear? If you do not know this, understanding motion in two directions is not simple. Clear? And if I see this is a vector a, if angle is theta here, these formulas are ax is equal to a cos theta, ay is equal to a sin theta. Suppose if you have a question like this, same vector a, magnitude is a, if angle with y axis, in that case what are ax and ay? Don't confuse. Is theta subtending with x? No. Then this is a sin theta. Theta subtending ay. Then this is a cos theta. See the difference. Same vector, same coordinates, same magnitude, components changed. That's why theta subtended side is always cos. Here theta subtended. Here theta, this value is ax, this horizontal component. This ax is equal to a cos theta. But in this figure, ax is equal to a sin theta. Why the difference? Because this angle. What about tan theta? Tan theta will be reversed. Previously ay by ax. Now this is ax by ay. So in questions, to confuse, they will provide a question like this. So you have to take care. But what about the magnitudes are? Magnitudes remain same. Ax square plus ay square. Again this is equation 1, equation 2. You square and add it, you will get the same result. But where do we change? Where do we finding the change? In components, in angle. So what is important? Theta is important. Clear? Now we will see a vector in 3-dimensional. If we have a 3 coordinates, what is the vector? 3-dimensional vector. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis. We have, what is the unit vectors along x? I cap, j cap, and this is k cap. Now a vector A is this one. How do we write this? A is equal to ax, I cap, ay, j cap, az, k cap. Because it has components along 3 directions. So then magnitude, how do we write? Under root of ax square plus ay square plus az square. This is the magnitude. This we call it as a 3-dimensional vector. This we call it as a 2-dimensional vector. Understand? 3 ax, I, j, k. 3 unit vectors involves, then that is 3-dimensional. 2 unit vectors involves, then 2-dimensional. Understand? Make a note on this. Okay, this is 3-dimensional vector. Now the components. This is a vector. Okay, A. It's making an angle alpha with x-axis. It is beta with y-axis and gamma with z-axis. Don't worry, what is alpha, beta, gamma? Don't confuse. Just to represent the angles, I select the alpha, beta, gamma. They are not rays, alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays. Don't go to that topic. What is that? Radioactivity in 10th class. And to represent this, we have taken letters alpha, beta, gamma. That's all. Or we can take theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. That is also. The point is to represent the angles. That's all. Then what is the horizontal component? Then ax is equal to a cos alpha. Next ay is equal to a cos beta. See, don't come sin theta here because all sides we have the angles. With x-axis alpha is there, with y-axis beta is there, with z-axis gamma is there. All 3 coordinates with this vector subtending 3 angles with all 3 coordinates. So sin theta will not come. Other side sin theta comes. Here there is no theta, this side sin theta came. But here there is no possibility. Clear? Keep that point in your mind. So az is equal to a cos gamma. Clear? Then equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. If you squaring and add, you will get this equation. Okay, in this mathematics is involves a square cos square alpha, a square cos square beta, a square cos square gamma. A square is common. Cos square alpha, cos square beta, cos square gamma. That value is 1 actually. That we call it as a direction cosines that you will see in mathematics. Till then I don't touch this. So then how do you find sir alpha, beta, gamma? You make it this cos alpha. What do you get? Ax by a cos beta, ay by a cos gamma, az by a. Using these formulas we will get angles. Understand? Clear?